Welcome back, guys. In this video, we're gonna talk about a very important subject. And this is again one of those questions, one of those themes that I often get asked, that often comes up in conversations I have with people. And that is about emotions, right? Especially negative emotions. How do I deal with my negative emotions? My fear, my anxiety, my frustration, the shame, all those emotions that come up when I get triggered. When I want to manifest and create certain things in my life, like if I feel those emotions, or if I give them my attention, or if I allow them to just take over me, am I going to just manifest more of those things? Because, if I give too much attention there, will it just keep on going and keep on being true, right? So what should I do? How do I handle those emotions? Should I just pretend that they're not there? Should I just delude myself and say like it's not real, it didn't happen, when something actually happened in my life and triggers a lot of those emotions? How do I handle and navigate those situations? And it's such a powerful, important, vital question, because let's face it, we are emotional beings. All of us have emotions. No matter how emotionally unaware you may be, emotion is something that happens as a byproduct of every thought you have, every experience you have. So it's not something that you don't have. Yeah. But there's a lack of awareness, and there's often a lack of emotional muscle in most people, simply because as a society as a whole, we haven't been taught how to deal with emotion, how to express emotion, especially negative emotions, especially hurt, guilt, shame, those big ones, right? So we tend to naturally suppress, repress, ignore, bypass, and often, gaslight ourselves into pretending that it's resolved when it's not. Now, in the spiritual community, this is something that is often, unfortunately, common practice. And often it is because, there's this thing about don't let your current situation control your thinking and your emotional state. And there is this understanding that your state of consciousness creates your reality. And so if your thoughts and your emotions and your actions create your reality, well, you shouldn't have negative thoughts and you shouldn't feel bad, because otherwise you will perpetuate your situation and you will keep on manifesting things that make you angry or ashamed or abuse you, or all these type of things. And so I understand why people will think this way, and I understand why all those teachers, including myself, will tell you that you have to think greater, you have to raise your perception, you have to raise your awareness, you have to not allow what is to control your thoughts and your belief, but go beyond that. But it's one thing to do that with your thoughts and with your perception, and it's another thing to do that with your emotions, because it's two different things. Okay, you can renounce, denounce, reject, requalify any thoughts, any story that you have, but your emotions are always valid. What does that even fucking mean? Your emotions are always valid. They're always reflecting how you feel about a certain things, about a certain experience, about a certain perception, apprehension that you may have about the future or the past. So your emotions are neither good, bad, right, wrong. They simply reflect subconsciously how you feel about certain things. Okay? Now, emotions are a messenger showing you that somewhere your perception, your belief are incorrect. And so in and out of themselves, emotions are not good, right, bad, or worse kind of thing, but they're here to help you recorrect, re-go into a state of expansion instead of staying in a state of contraction. Now, what is the danger of bypassing your emotions? The danger of bypassing emotions is that basically you will suppress them, repress them, push them away, and you will come to this conclusion that, well, I'm done with that, well, I've let go, I've processed, I am free from that, where really energetically and emotionally you've just piled up more things under the carpet. And then when you get triggered and life happens and you have subconscious manifestation and things just happening that don't represent what you want, boom, it will trigger those things, because subconsciously you will keep on remaining a match to those experiences that you create, attract, and select subconsciously. And that's the problem with emotional bypassing. So how are you supposed to then navigate your reality if on one hand you have to, think greater than what is happening, but on the other hand you also have to allow your emotions. It sounds like a paradox, right? And it's even more of a paradox if you consider non-dualistic teachings, which can really fuck up your mind, because then it's like, okay, on one hand everything's perfect and God is always perfect and there is no suffering, yeah, there is no loss, there is no death, there is no all those things. But on the other hand, on the physical plane, there is all those things. So all truths are actually valid and true depending on what state of consciousness and level of consciousness you talk about. But because we are here in this physical reality, and because we have experiences and because we have emotions, we must allow ourselves to feel those emotions. And in fact, one of the great resources I want to give you and share with you in this video is this phenomenal book, Letting Go, by Dr. David Hawkins. This book is a phenomenal way to teach you about the purpose of emotions, all those negative emotions, their purpose, why they arise, and also how you can deal with them in a healthy way using the letting go technique. Okay, phenomenal book, amazing book. And this is really something that will help you detach, let go, and break down those old patterns of manifesting things that you no longer want in your reality, when you're really able to let go of all the emotional baggage and traumas and so on. But you are only able to do that if you allow yourself to process and go into that emotion. And that's often what shadow work is about, right? Is to go into that aspect of yourself that you denied, repressed, suppressed for so long, and to simply allow itself to be felt, to be heard, to be seen, to be feel safe, and all these type of things. So emotional bypassing in your spiritual growth, in manifesting what you want and creating the life that you deserve, only leads to more repression, and repression only leads to more unconscious suffering down the road. So how then are you supposed to navigate? What is something that you can do instead of deluding yourself and gaslighting yourself to say, you know what, I'm happy, or I'm this, or I'm that, when actually you feel angry and you feel sad and you feel triggered and you feel angry as fuck and you have all those emotions. Instead of gaslighting yourself that you shouldn't feel this way, or that if you feel this, you're going to manifest something bad, and instead of hitting yourself with a stick and really bypassing completely your experience emotionally, sit with it, acknowledge it, go with it, and in simply stopping the resistance that you have toward negative emotions, the most simple and amazing things will happen is that you'll get, often what I experience is that often you get a rise in that emotion. The moment you go into it, you feel that intensity rising up to a certain point, and then it will kind of melt away. And of course, this process can take various length and time, and it's different for everybody depending on what are you working on, what is the emotion, what's the context, and so on. But this is really what you experience, is like the emotion goes up and then subside, and on the down there's something else takes its place. You have relief, you have peace, you have all that calmness and stillness that's come back. But often you also have those insight that comes up, that awareness, that learning, that thing that just shows you what's been happening, or what's been creating certain things, or why you've been feeling certain things, or what could help you break free from that pattern. So in that negative emotion is actually the breakthrough you're looking for. And that's why emotional bypassing is really a form of gaslighting yourself, ignoring a big aspect, a big part of you that is actually one of the biggest creative forces in your life. So I'm inviting you to overcome the thinking that if you simply allow yourself to feel your emotions, you're gonna perpetuate and manifest more of those emotions, because that's not the case. It's actually the opposite. What you resist persists. So if you resist feeling those emotions, if you resist having them, if you bury them and repress them, they will come up, they will surface, something will come up to stir up the shit at some point. Again, if you want to know into how you can apply this process of letting go, that's very simple, that's just really about feeling and letting those emotions be felt, I strongly invite you to go and get that book, Letting Go. It is a life freaking changing book. And so that's it, guys. That's it for this video. I hope it really makes sense, because this is a very important message. most of illnesses today, and science is showing that most of illnesses come because of repressed negative emotions. So do yourself a favor, learn to build that emotional muscle, learn to dig into your emotion, learn to process your emotion in a healthy way, learn to balance your nervous system to make yourself feel safe in being vulnerable, in having those emotions that are referred or that are triggered or that come from your past, so that you can finally come to a place of real release and break those patterns of manifesting subconsciously certain things in your life. It is a game changer. That's it for this video, guys. I will see you next time. Be well.